Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Meka, and if you don't know, this channel is mainly where we come to do chit chats about life and self-improvement, as well as lifestyle content, family content, and my favorite, travel vlogs when we're traveling. If any of that sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can join the family. If you're watching this, that means it's Wednesday, so it's another chit chat day. And today's topic is something that I have been seeing popping up on YouTube recently. Like, my timeline is almost full constantly with these videos surrounding the idea of completely changing your whole life in some amount of time. I feel like the most common one is like change your life in 6 months, something like that. And I'm sure other people have been seeing this sort of content, and so I wanted to come and talk about this. Y'all know I'm the type of person, like, I love setting goals. I love trying to do things that's gonna better myself, better my life. And I love setting realistic, achievable goals that can be measured and have a timeline on them, right? So I'm not surprised that this sort of content is being shown to me, because it really does capture the type of person that I am and my interests. So with that being said, I actually wanted to give this a try and see if this is real. Can you actually change your whole life around in just a few months? It's more so interpersonal changes, which I really love, because those are some of the things that are the most difficult for us to change about ourselves, because they're things that are ingrained so deeply in us that we don't even realize that it's happening. I want to start this series, I guess, within my kind of self-help tips series that I already do. And I want to document whether or not this works, if you can actually do it, or does it take more time or more or less time depending on who you are, you know? So I jotted down a couple things that I am going to attempt to completely change in my life in the next 6 months. And all these things are centered around the ideal life that I want to train myself to be able to live beyond that 6 months. That sort of lifestyle that I'm talking about is just a more slower paced, less stress induced, flexible lifestyle. Right now, my career encompasses so much of my time and energy, and with it comes this immense amount of pressure for being fast-paced and stressed constantly. So I have some things that I want to work on to change that for myself, because that's not the type of lifestyle that I want to continue to live. It's not healthy, and it doesn't benefit me in any sort of way, so therefore it's not necessary. So the first thing I want to work on in order to get myself to this lifestyle in 6 months is to practice being more intentional in the mornings and not rushing myself and my family. When I looked back on my recent vlogs, and any one that included like our morning routine, when I was watching, I could just like feel the rush, the stress, like in the routine. And I don't know if anybody else senses that. Like, tell me in the comments, can you feel that same energy through the video, or is it only me because I was living it as well as then watching it back? But either way, I don't like that. I like the morning routines in the videos where we're on break, and so my daughter and I are just kind of spending time together. We're still getting ready, we're still eating and cleaning and stuff like that, but it's a lot more intentional. It's a lot more slow paced and stress free, because it's really just up to what we can do in a time versus what we have to do, what we need to do in order to make it on time, etc., etc. We're on our own timeline in those mornings. I plan to practice that by simply shifting my schedule at work. As you've probably seen in some of my vlogs, I have to be into the office to start working on scheduling and different things as early as 7 a.m. sometimes. Since Maya comes with me, that means she also has to be ready by that time. And she just hangs out in the office with me because the classrooms are not even open yet. And I've realized that it's not necessarily a necessity. I can get that same information out at 8:30 a.m. Will some people feel like, oh, well, I wish I would have gotten it earlier? Sure. Will it affect their job in any way? No. So there's no reason for me to put my family at a disadvantage just for that. Another thing I really want to change is learning how to say no and not feeling guilty about it. This is something that I feel like most women, especially Black women, are kind of just trained to do from childhood, and it's terrible. We do not owe people our time and energy. We do not need to disadvantage ourselves for other people's sake. We don't need to say yes to everything simply because it helps others or it makes others feel good, even if it's making us feel terrible. I have this really bad when it comes to my job. I always get this worried feeling like whenever I want to take time off for me, say for instance, when I'm sick and I cannot make it, I cannot sit at a desk in an office all day long or run around and substitute in classrooms for teachers and run around chasing children when I am sick. However, what I tend to do is say, okay, I'm gonna work from home. I'm still gonna get all the scheduling done. I'm still gonna make sure there's subs. I'm still gonna do all of this. And I end up working almost the entire day just remotely and barely resting and getting better. It still hinders me because when I do return the next day, I'm still sick. I still feel terrible because I didn't rest and get better at all. And then that's everyone's expectation for me. So I want to take time for me and completely clock out. I am out. I am not available. I am not reachable. Figure it out. I have to remind myself that these are competent and capable adults. Even without me, they can figure it out. And if they can't, perhaps that will be a good incentive to show some appreciation towards me or some respect. So that's what we're going to work on as well. I'm sure you have caught on to the fact that a lot of this whole change that's going to equate to this lifestyle that I want to live within 6 months is heavily surrounding my job. And that's not a secret because I've talked in previous videos about the struggles that I have with my current job. If you're curious about what that is, what's going on with that, you can check those videos out. I'll link them in the description box. Yeah, that's the reality of it. And of course, on this journey, I'll give updates on how that's going and what that's going to look like given this new experiment that I want to be on with changing around my life in the next few months. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm really excited to see. I'm excited to take more time for myself and my family and train myself to not care if other people aren't 100% happy with it, because at the end of the day, they can figure it out. I hope y'all are as excited for this as I am. You'll probably see updates in the weekly vlogs as well, as I'm like trying to practice what I'm preaching at that point. Make sure you subscribe. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for more episodes about how this journey is going down the line. Yeah.